So we shall see how long this stream lasts. You know, we got a hurricane coming through. Been storming bad all day, so no telling if I'll lose power or internet or whatever, but I'll be on here for a little while. Wait for some people to get in here. Oh, it just happened, but okay, there we go. So, you know, as the title says, I went to the United Kingdom and Ireland, mostly Scotland and Ireland. So I figured I'd start the stream out by talking about some of the stuff that happened while we were there. Really funny story that I'll get into in a little bit. You know, seen a lot of cool stuff in Scotland and Ireland. We didn't spend a whole lot of time in, you know, the England area. It was mostly Scotland and Ireland. And so my wife doesn't do whiskey at all. So me and my daughter wound up going to the Jameson distillery and Middleton, which is the parent company, and it's actually where they distill Jameson and other whiskeys. So we did tastings at both those places. My daughter has expensive tastes. She really liked Green Spot, which is an expensive Irish single malt whiskey, or not. It is a pot still single grain Irish whiskey. She really liked that. Those go for about $130 a piece. She liked the Bull Street Jameson exclusive. That was like $300 a bottle. And she also liked, it wasn't part of the Middleton tour, but Middleton has a micro distillery inside their facilities in Middleton. It's actually in their current whiskey production is in all new buildings. Their Method and Madness distillery is in the old buildings. We actually got to see it where they do it, and it's all micro distilled projects. And so we went to the bar and tried some of their stuff. My daughter really liked that. I bought a bottle of it, brought it home, of one of their variations that we didn't try. My daughter also liked that. So she has expensive tastes. She did not like Jameson. Did a lot of driving in Scotland and Ireland. Put 2,000 miles on the rental car in Scotland. Unlimited mileage. And if you realized how really small Scotland is, you know how much I drove. Evan, the vacation was awesome. That's what I've been talking about. We spent a couple days on Isla, which is a little small island. You can only get there via ferry or small planes. And love Isla. It's one of my favorite places in the world. Beautiful. We actually wound up going to a beach that is only accessible through a field with sheep and World War II bunkers. So that was kind of cool getting to see the World War II bunkers. And then we were on the beach. My daughter, who more or less, she's a chemistry, she has a degree in chemistry. She loved finding rocks. She, in retrospect, should have got a geology degree, but she was finding all these rocks, and she brought rocks home from Scotland and Ireland. Space Cat, good afternoon. The vacation was awesome. No real insanity. Had no real problems other than we had Airbnbs can be a little sketchy. My wife had actually, fortunately and or unfortunately, double booked one night. And we went to the first place, and it was literally above a pool hall, and it was in a sketchy area. So we wound up driving 3 hours to the other one she booked, and that place was fantastic and nice. And so Airbnbs, once you book them through certain sites, you can't so it was it was pretty awesome to lost my train of thought there. Yeah, it was awesome. Scotty Frazier says nothing to do with tools, but a friend of mine from England visited with me in Nashville last week. What all is needed to enter the UK besides a passport? LOL, passport. That's it. Security is a little laxer in the UK and Ireland than it is here. The Bald Hard Mechanic did I go to Perth? Not this time. We went to Perth last time. But we had a blast. Evan, so you've been driving on the wrong side of the road. Okay, well, we'll get into that part of it. So last time we went in 2019, I drove all through Scotland. My wife knows how to drive manual transmissions, but obviously she's never driven on the wrong side of the car or the wrong side of the road. So we were in Scotland, and she was like, really, I need to learn. I need to see if I can do this, because we're going to be driving a bunch when we go to Ireland. We were also renting a car. And so on Isla, which is a very small island, a lot of single lane roads. So, we're on this it's near a kind of disappointing monument thing that nobody knows about apparently. And so she gets in, goes to drive, goes down the road, turns. Within 90 seconds of driving the car, she got it stuck in a ditch on my side of the car. I could not get it out. I was on the control arm on the passenger side, which would be our driver's side. Had to call let's call it a pickup truck, a local company to come pull us out of a ditch. So within 30 seconds of her driving, she got the car stuck. She was more paying attention to shifting than steering. Space Cat, you like Snap-on. She likes single high end. She gets that from me. Since you brought that up, I brought home 5 bottles of whiskey. One of my favorite distilleries is Bruichladdich, and I was not able to get a tour there. They were closed the first day we were there. We weren't there early enough to do anything. Basically, get in there, it was closed. Nothing available the next day. So we went and did a tasting there. I had their, what is the name of it? They've got a Black Art. That is a 400-pound British pounds bottle of whiskey. Tried that. Tried a Port Charlotte that was a single barrel. Bought a bottle of that. And Octomore 14.1. I'm sorry, Octomore single cask, which I did not buy. It was 200 pounds, and I really didn't like it that much. But I did buy an Octomore 14.1. Bought a Method in Madness at Middleton. At Lagavulin, I bought a Blair Autal single malt whiskey, which is not readily available in the United States. I did a tasting at their distillery in Perth, I think. You never find it in the U.S. It's part of Johnny Walker's blend. Love it. Or they brew part of the blend. I don't know if it's actually in the blend. And then Bamore 15 year. I bought a bottle of Bamore because we went there and as well while we were on Isla. So yeah, it was quite expensive as far as whiskey. Spencer Shaw, I just got a job at a chain store, a bell tire. They pay 20% of the bill, not including tax. Better than flat rate for me. Hey, cool. Long as they're taking care of you, that's awesome. Sergio, been watching your vids since I started working as a mechanic in 2018. Glad to see you're good and alive. Stay blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you. Renegade, what's up? Art style, lifestyle, bad service advisors. How do you deal with them? Well, don't punch them in the face, though you may want to. How depends on what you mean by bad. Do they have problems selling? Do they have problems doing their job, i.e. not ordering parts or something like that? Selling is, I cater my ROs towards how a service writer sells. If a service writer doesn't care about details, I'm not writing a bunch of details in the RO. It's not worth it. If a service writer gets overwhelmed by, the 300 rule, writing up everything, it's a waste of time to write up everything. I would write up, the big things, it's massive oil leak, massive coolant leak, bald tires, hit the key points, and then maybe mention the other things that are not priority, but not really write them up. Parts, if you've got a problem with a service writer not ordering parts, remind them. Simple as that. You go, oh yeah, this ticket's sold. Did you order all my parts? If a service writer is bad about ordering all of the parts you need, write down the parts you need. Give them all the information they need. A lot of service advisors, even former techs, kind of are lazy. And a lot of times they won't pay attention to anything other than, oh, I need an alternator. Did you order a belt? Did you, bother to read the rest of the, ticket that said the valve cover's leaking onto the alternator? No, that kind of stuff. Hope that helps. But, it all depends on what you mean by a bad service advisor. Galaxy Stranger, do you find the whiskey you get there is better quality than we can get a hold of here in the States? No, it's the exact same whiskey. Scotland and Ireland, the US is their biggest market. They do have stuff that is hard to get here or difficult. Octomore is the most heavily peated whiskey made. If you don't understand what peated is, you know, when they say Scotch is an acquired taste, well, it has a smoky, sometimes medicinal flavor to it, because they smoke the barley before they make it. They smoke it with what's called peat, which is dirt. It's just compacted, aged vegetable matter, you know, leaves and stuff like that. But it's what they use for firewood. And so it has a very unique taste. Octomore is a lot more difficult to get in the United States. It's expensive. They only do one run a year. They do several expressions that are finished in different ways. But there's no difference. Canadian whiskey, on the other hand, according to Whiskey Tribe, which is a YouTube channel, Whiskey Tribe and God, I can't remember, the Wizard Academy is part of that. Drawing a blank. Canadian whiskey, what we get in the United States, they have much better stuff that's only sold in Canada. But Scotland and Ireland, we're their biggest customers. Carlos, what's up? Renegade's Garage. Is there a whiskey that is smooth and doesn't burn, or do they all burn? Smoothness, minimum whiskey, ABV is 40% by law. It can't be called a whiskey if it's below 40%. The alcohol burn is not something you're going to be able to get away from. There are whiskeys that are smoother than, you know, other whiskeys. Octomore is bottled at barrel proof. So high 50s, low 60s. The Port Charlotte I got is at barrel proof, and that is 60 ABV. That's 120 proof. Galaxy says, I like the Whiskey Tribe. Yeah. Space Cat, tasting at various distilleries sounds very enjoyable. It is. I'll tell a funny story. In 2019, when me and my wife went by ourselves, this trip was with me, my wife, and my daughter. We went to Isla, and we were only there for literally one full day, which was not enough. So we, but anyway, I'd booked Bruichlotti's tour. I'd booked a tasting at Laphroaig, and I wanted to hit Lagavulin. That's where the old nasty green hat came from. Which, by the way, the lady that I bought the new hat from had never seen the green one. But anyway, I started drinking at 10:30 in the morning. And was like, because I was the only one on the tour for Bruichlotti. So I wound up drinking like 6 shots, driving to get lunch, and then hit Lagavulin, had a drink there, and then drank another 6 at Laphroaig, and then had to drive back to the hotel. Yeah, Carlos says that's what I deal with daily. Yeah, just kind of manipulate them. Learn how to manipulate them. Johnny Walker Black, etc. Carlos, Maximus 4.0 opinions. It is a launch scan tool with a Matco GUI, graphical user interface. That's all it is. It's an excellent scan tool. My daily driver scan tool is a launch tool. It does most things. It does most things well. It's a very capable scan tool. It launches my go-to at this point. So as long as one of the nice things about having it with Matco is warranty. If there's a problem with the tool, turn it back into the truck. You probably get you a loan or stuff like that. But excellent tool. Tool Rep is selling a used one with the car line and HD for $3,500. That's a good deal. Galaxy Stranger says you have to try until you find something that doesn't burn. Usually the pricier it is, the more smooth it gets. Proof and age, more important. Octomore is $200 a bottle, and at 60 ABV is not gonna not burn, and it's peated, so it's got a unique flavor. I found about $100 is the sweet spot-ish. So, yeah, no, I enjoy my whiskeys and my cigars. Bet cigars were available as well. I took 4 boxes of cigars with me. From my last trip in 2019, I ran out of cigars. On the 2 weeks I was there. I then bought a considerable amount of money worth of Cuban cigars while I was there at a great tobacconist in London. Cigar shops are not very common in the UK. It's a very expensive, highly taxed product there. And lots of people smoke cigarettes there, even though it's highly taxed. But cigars are a lot more rare. So I made sure I took enough cigars that I actually came back with some cigars. So I had plenty. That was not going to happen again. In fact, I still have some Cohiba cigarellos that I bought because I couldn't find anything else that are still sitting in my humidor. Let's see what else we got. What other tool? What tool or other questions about working in a shop we got? I may or may not do a video on this. Kind of undecided. But recently there was a post in one of the Facebook groups from a technician who felt that tickets were not being distributed fairly among technicians. And he was, complaining that he's standing around while other techs are loaded up. And, and what should he do about it and that kind of stuff. And a shop owner straight up admitted in that, in the comments of that post on Facebook that that's exactly how he does it. And that's how he wants to do it. He loads up his top performers and then everybody else gets what's left, which is, I think, entirely crappy. So you take care of your buddies and you screw everybody else. It's kind of just horrible. But that's literally how he does it. And that's, just completely ridiculous. So I might do a video. I may not. I don't know. Galaxy Stranger, I'm a software developer and I love your content and learn a lot from you. That's awesome. I'm a computer geek. I don't develop software, but I've got a bunch. I've got a home lab, so you probably know what that is. I've got a bunch of servers over there, a couple water cooled PCs. So Enoch just bought some long extensions with the universal socket at the end, the same as the gear wrench. One's from AliExpress for 25 US. Comes with extra pins for the U joint. Hope pin breaks. Hope it hold up. Hopefully it holds up. 25 US for a 5-piece set. Carlos Lopez, how would you measure efficiency on techs? Hours. It's simple as that. It's whether the technician is hourly, flat rate, hourly with commission, whatever. Efficiency comes from producing more than the time you're there. Now, obviously, different shops have different priorities. Let me put it that way. What I mean by that is, some shops pay their technicians hourly, expect them to, fully QC the vehicles. They may require them to run monitors. Obviously, if you're doing a bunch of that kind of stuff, efficiency is going to suffer if that's not accounted for in the hours. So let's say, they expect you to run the monitors, takes you 45 minutes to have that happen, but there's no record of that happening on the ticket to account for it. Your efficiency is going to be affected by that. But when you, if you don't have those kind of factors, if normally, technician comes in, diagnoses the car, gets paid for diagnosis, fixes the car, cleans it up, verifies the repair, i.e. running some monitors or, retesting or whatever, but verifies the car is fixed, he's going to be much more efficient on paper, which is, I think, is fine, but that's where you measure is efficiency on a technician is time. And no matter how you boil it down, that's how you measure a technician's efficiency, is how effective they are at staying under the flat rate time, obviously without complications. When you're dealing with a lot of rusty vehicles, a lot of shops say they don't account for it. They do, but they don't usually pass that on to the techs. Just saying. But it's time. Vandy, that's capitalism for you. I don't know what that's about. Galaxy Suite. Galaxy Stranger, interestingly enough, I moved away from water cooling. I got into it because it was actually quieter for me at the time, but now I just get Noctua fans. I enjoy water cooling. It's fun to me. It's not cheap, but it's fun. I enjoy how they look. The one I'm streaming on is water cooled completely. Also, for a lot of the stuff that I do, when I record with this PC and then it's recorded in a codec that has to be transcoded. So I transcode it on this PC and a lot of it's on CPU, and depending on the length of the video, it can take a while to transcode. Like when because I'm recording this and I'll, may use snippets of it for a video or whatever, a 2-hour long transcode takes it a while, and it can, heat up I've got a 12 core, 24 thread chip in this. So it can get pretty toasty, especially considering mine's overclocked. Enoch, the shop I currently work for, changed owners. I was the one tech they kept, and they moved the tech from their old shop here. New tech provides lunch and will cover and tools you lose or break. That's awesome. Vandy, shop owners feeding his top performers. the thing about it is, it's not really capitalism. It's favoritism. You know, when I distributed tickets at the old shop, you know, I was not giving an advanced diagnostic to, you know, the kid with 6 months experience. You know, I'm giving it to one of my guys that can diagnose it properly. But, you know, like an oil leak repair, that guy with 6 months experience can fix that. The problem is when they give, when they're given that kind of work to the same people over and over again, everybody in the shop can see it. It's not, the thing is it's not one of those things that, you know, why is that guy doing 70 hours a week and I'm doing 30 and I'm standing around while he's, you know, going through all of his tickets. You know, it's not good for shop morale, for one thing. And it's just is horrible to treat people like that. I mean, it's straight up horrible. My goal at, you know, which is probably one of the reasons why I got fired, because my boss was so obsessed with making the most money possible, was I tried to, number of tickets and quality of tickets, I tried to distribute equally. Didn't always work out that way. I mean, you know, I had techs that, you know, which in retrospect, I kind of wonder how maybe legitimate they were on some vehicles. But they'd always do 50, 60 hours every week. And then, you know, I'd give them cars that I didn't think they'd sell anything on and sold 12 hours on, which might have been me misjudging a car, but, you know, it was consistent. So I don't know whether they wrote up stuff they shouldn't have or they just were lucky. I don't know. But I tried to make sure that, you know, realistically, if you looked at it from outside, it wouldn't look like I was favoring anybody. Not because I was worried about that. It was more because I wanted to be as fair as I could be. But yeah, it just kind of sucks all the way around. Enoch, any tips for preparing for the license test? I failed it the first time. Also is the Ontario Canadian test. Have no idea for, I believe that's your journeyman license. I think that's what they call it. There should be practice tests. I'm going to compare it as best I can to ASE. ASE tests are not hard. The hardest thing about ASE testing is making sure you read the question very carefully. If you read the question very carefully, the answer is pretty obvious. And I'm not saying that because I'm a better tech than other people. They hint at what the answer is. But you have to read the question very carefully, because that's how they make the test harder. Is they'll put a question, you know, which is most likely, you know, just giving a simple example. What's the most likely cause of this? A, B, C, or D? And then you go to the next question, what's the least likely? And that's why I mean, you know, it's an exaggeration, but that's kind of what they do. They word the question to make it a little bit confusing. So you kind of mess up on, you know, not reading the question very carefully if you just kind of rush through it. But that's usually a lot of the tests anyway. Galaxy Stranger, yes, you have to invest in your employees so that everyone is successful and wants to stay and do their best work. Exactly. You know, that's going back to that, you know, shop owner who admitted that he, you know, basically screws over a bunch of his techs. Because that's what I believe. I mean, it's straight up. I wanted every one of my guys to be making as much money as they could. You know, I had handicaps that were against me. That's neither here nor there. But, you know, the whole point of me being there was trying to make sure everyone in the shop made really good money. And, you know, pushing a bunch of work towards a couple people, which is one of the things I accused my ex-boss of doing. In case you never watched any of the videos I did, he put all the gravy work downstairs for the 3 guys down there. And, you know, they were always doing 60, 70 hours every week. And I was sending people home because he was doing that exact thing, I believe. But yeah, it's just horrible when you treat people like that. It just shows what kind of person you really are. You know, because if you don't care about most of your staff, then how good of a person really are you? Northern Grid, Dorman of all brands, actually saved me this week. I had a broken timing guide bolt in a GM 2.4. They make a new plug with the bolt end built onto the inside. No need to drill out the old. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, Dorman has saved me several times. You know, that kind of stuff that they've always been known for, and usually they're okay. Just don't buy moving parts from them or electronic parts. Renegade, I quit working at a Ford dealership because they didn't have enough work. They catered to the techs that were there the longest, and everybody else got screwed. I told them if all I'm going to do is access plug, stand around and not make any money, I can do that at home. So I left. Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, that's probably one of the worst things about flat rate is it's so easy for people in charge to just kind of screw over a bunch of people and, you know, put other people on a pedestal. I mean, you know, I don't care how good or bad you are. If you don't feel bad about a guy not sitting there, not making any money in your shop that you own or run, you shouldn't be owning or running a shop because you're just a horrible person. You know, I know, I'm sure, you know, selfishness aside, you know, a shop owner should be making sure all of his guys stay busy so everybody, including him, make money. But if your main concern about a technician sitting around is your money and not his, you know, not exactly a pillar of the community, if you know what I mean. In Canada, in Canada, apparently you can take the test without going through the 3 levels if you have a license from another country. Also, you can bring your own translator as long as your friend does not work in the car field sales to service. My friend failed twice due to translation error. Yeah. My wife has a degree in Spanish, and because she's not familiar with the automotive terminologies, and like she can't do the grammar properly for automotive, you know, because she doesn't have that technical knowledge, not knowledge of cars, of the language. But she can, you know, speak fluent Spanish. But yeah, so I can understand exactly why that happens, because if you don't have a translator that understands how to translate technical automotive, it can really easily be mistranslated. Galaxy Stranger, another thing is that bad managers don't understand their role, which is to give your employees the tools to do their job, not snap their fingers and treat their employees like thralls. Yes. Yes. No. Don't remember the guy's name. He does motivational speakers, but yeah, the point of a manager is to give your staff all the tools to do their job, and the autonomy and leash, you know, to be able to just do their job. You know, I've seen this so many times where, you know, a manager will hold, you know, the purse strings for this manager, and nothing really ever gets done because it's always got to go back and forth, you know, and with customers that can really piss them off. But yeah, no, the job is to just enable your employees to do the best work possible. Yep, you're paying them for their expertise. Galaxy's Drink, because you don't want to do the work and they usually know better than you do. Yes. No, one of the best advices that people rarely take is, you know, hire the people when you get into business. Hire people to do the job you don't want to do. Because you're going to find people that are much better at it than you are, whether in an automotive sense is, you know, if you're better at fixing cars than selling car repairs, hire a service advisor. If you suck at doing accounting and don't get to it, hire an accountant, you know, stuff like that. Galaxy, I have a 97 V6 Firebird and the shop manuals for it. How much trouble can I get into? It's not that complex of a car. The cowl on it kind of sucks. I really didn't work on a lot of that generation Firebirds, Camaros. But they're not that complex of cars. Fuel pump on them sucks. I can tell you that much. But yeah, it's a pretty basic car other than the fuel pump. Vandy, unfortunately, we are just cogs in the machine, and we are replaceable no matter how good you are. Yep. I argue on that subject with my wife. Everybody's replaceable. Everybody, I don't care how good you are, you can be replaced. You know, the difficulty of being replaced is based on your skills and your abilities. But doesn't matter. You know, my wife's thing is you can't be replaced. Well, yeah, but they can find somebody to do my job. So, and that's something that a lot of shop owners kind of brainwash their technicians into that so that they forget that. That's one of the things I've talked about a while, but you know, oh, we're a family, you know, oh, we take care of each other, you know, I've got your back, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. And, oh, you're running, you've got some financial troubles. Let me help you out. And when it comes down to it, they'll still replace you. You're not, in almost 100% of the cases, you don't mean as much to your boss as you think. And this isn't just personal, it's just reality. I never thought I was irreplaceable, so I don't think I thought that. I've always known I was replaceable. But as a technician, you have to understand you are replaceable. I don't care what skills you've got, what advanced, coating or, ECM virgining you do. There's always somebody out there that's probably cheaper than you, and doesn't matter. They can still replace you. So why are you so worried about their business because it's their business? You're not a family. You're not sharing in that business. You're an employee and you're replaceable. Enoch, I just bought a Top Dun scanner. What is your opinion of the scanner? Top Dun's based on launch. It's really good. I don't know if it's here at the shop, but I have a top-end scanner. The main reason I bought it was to clone my Honda Civic key. Well, it's a good thing you're not in the US because they took that away. They removed that from the latest update for all launch and Autel scan tools. Because NASTF went into agreement with they kind of put them all behind a license and paywall here in the United States. Galaxy Stranger, as a developer, I understand systems. How feasible would it be to teach myself how to rebuild an engine? Not hard. Honestly, it's not that hard. It's a little scary. One of the biggest things is make sure you've got a good machine shop available to you. Because no matter what, if you're completely rebuilding an engine other than, dingle ball honing a engine, which I don't recommend, it's not that hard. I used to do it all the time back in the day. Oh. If you go to Jim's Automotive Machine Shop on YouTube, here he is rebuilding Scanner Danner's part 1 of 4,000 of rebuilding Scanner Danner's engine out of his truck. But they're a really good channel. They do go into a lot of the math. I don't have my camera up. Video on. All right, well, there I am. If you go watch Jim's Automotive Machine Shop, there's a bunch of other channels, but he goes into a lot of the nuances of rebuilding an engine, and it's not really super hard. It's just making sure clearances are right, directions are right, like head gaskets, piston direction, taper on the rods, etc. Well, I don't know. Hey, I ain't paying for it, so I don't care. Advice for rebuilding your engine is don't sit there and drink beers or other adult beverages. You are precisely rebuilding an engine, so triple check everything. Make sure the gaskets are the right. Make sure everything lines up that's supposed to. Clean all threads of liquids and debris, and make sure the threads are good because torque values change based on the threads. And double and triple check everything. Make sure your clearances are good, ring gaps correct, etc., etc. And it'll work in most cases as long as you're mechanically inclined. But yeah, if you watch that channel, he does some really good, really in-depth videos. A lot of math, but you find a good machine shop and they do the math for you. You don't have to worry about, calculating your oil clearance on machining, stuff like that. Provide the pistons and the rods and they do that for you. So anyway, You're welcome. I found that channel because of Scanner Danner, by the way. I generally, because I don't, nowadays I don't rebuild engines. It's just not cost effective in a shop to rebuild engines. But I used to. I used to actually have a side business rebuilding engines for various people, hot rodding, stuff like that. And I used to always have an engine tore apart in my driveway at some point or another. Matt, my Snap-on dude told me the fall software is going to be a huge system change. There'll be Tesla software added. Okay. Cool, I guess. I don't, I don't see, Tesla, so I don't know. It's not a big deal for me, and I can't update my old Snap-on anyway. I used to work at a shop where the boss was an electrical diagnostic wizard, but sometimes when things didn't go his way or when he couldn't find the problem, he would drink beer and magically everything goes his way. He finds the problem. He calls it beer power. Tesla does kind of suck. Hope you get to work on a Cybertruck. No, I'm good. I would like to check out their networking, their Ethernet power over internet networking. That's kind of cool. Aaron, wish I had a Snap-on dealer. Must be nice. I guess what's his name didn't make it, Aaron. Nick, what's up? But what we were saying about beer power, they all look like dumpsters. Yeah. A lot of times when I get, it's not really like years ago at the old shop, I had a car that was just kicking my butt. I could not figure it out. And my old boss, Aaron's current boss, came out there and I was doing a brake job. Mindless, easy distraction. And he started, not want to say bitching me out, but like, I really need this car diagnosed. What the hell, panicking because I was not working on it. And I'm like, I'm at an impasse and I need to reset. And either right after I finished the brake job or right before I finished it, idea came to my head, went over, tested, found the problem. Within a couple minutes, I had that car diagnosed and ready to sell because I took a mental break from it. And that's exactly what that is. It's just a mental break. As soon as your mind kind of frees away from obsession, the solution, or at least an idea for the solution, will come to you. At least for me. Freedom King Films, Toyota equals most reliable. Don't look at their Tundras or Sequoias of the last generation. Just giving you crap. Galaxy Stranger, God, I see those Cybertrucks all over the place. They're freaking ridiculous. And there's an entire field of them with grass growing around them at the dealership here. Yeah, I had some problems with them. I've seen a bunch of them out in the wild, and they're just ugly. I'm not a big fan of Tesla anyway. The service writer over at the old shop, they're just hideous looking cars. But the fit and finish on a brand new Tesla that the service writer bought was not that good. I mean, for the amount of money he spent, and he had to have a tail light replaced because it filled with water on a brand new car. Kurt Dawson just lost my Snap-on dealer 2 weeks ago. He lasted a year. Aaron Bernardo did not. He showed up the last time with an empty truck to swap some of the guys' credit accounts. He ran Daniels' cash by accident, so Daniel saved $500. Damn. Lucky Daniel. Freedom Kims, I have a pet peeve or two. When you're dropping your car off for repair, leave some gas in it, so just don't leave it on E. And two, clean the ever-living crap out of your piece of car I don't want to. Yes. Doing diagnostics, empty cars piss me off to no end. Oh, I got a problem that only does it intermittently. Let's drop the car off with no gas in it. Like you're dropping it off for a brake job. Realistically, I'm not going to have to put gas in it. But if I got to drive it down the highway and it's on E, I'm putting gas in it and you're getting charged. I can't tell you how many times I've had to give cars back to the customer and go, you need to clean this out. I've had one lady that I couldn't get to her fuse box because it was in the passenger side footwell, and her footwell was up to the dash with crap. And she wasn't real thrilled on the likelihood of me just pulling a trash can over there and dumping it into a trash can either. So yeah. I hate that kind of stuff. For my boss, it had to be beer. No beers, no fix. If he took a metal break, it did not help. Only beers did. Well, then the break didn't also clear his mind. He had to have a little juice. Galaxy Stranger, Cybertrucks also look dented because the panels aren't stiff enough or something. Yeah, they are not. They're stainless steel, but they're not real good stainless steel, and they rust. Matt, I'm in a small town in South Dakota. My Snap-on dealer is in the Seattle area. So with the internet, you can do that. Oh. Melissa Thompson, our Snap-on dealers in southern Minnesota is about the equivalent of talking to a wall, and his truck is a disaster. So I rarely buy anything from him. Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunately a lot of Snap-on dealers. I've gone through almost any Snap-on dealer that's been into it for several years, their truck is usually a disaster. I don't know what it is about Snap-on dealers, but after a few years of it being in business, their truck just goes to crap. Whereas Matco, usually they keep their trucks up even if they're going out of business, and they just have less stuff on their truck. All right. Freedom King Films. I work at a body shop and sometimes have to pick up cars from our other store 45 minutes away. And it's lovely when there's no gas in it. Yeah, that really sucks. Matt, Cybertruck has to be put in car wash mode. If not, mistakes make it hard to start and move it up. Yes. That is crazy. That has to be put in car wash mode when it has to drive through the rain. Joel, does your shop allow you to work on your friends and family vehicles since your tools are located at work? No, the old shop did. This shop doesn't. So I do it at home. I worked on a car with so much in the trunk. I just went to my toolbox and grabbed my wheel lock set. Oh yeah, no. I do miss the wheel lock sets at the old shop. But yeah, no, it sucks. I I can't tell you how many trunks I've emptied with just to get to a wheel lock or put a spare tire away. Like, you had to take all this stuff out knowing you had to get your spare tire, and you left all this stuff in here for me. Just crazy. Enoch, there's a tool truck brand called Tech Pro Tools. They sell Taiwanese made tools. They're good quality but overpriced. If they're going with a tool truck model, they're through a distributor, so they kind of have to be. I mean, as much as I love Matco, a lot of their stuff is overpriced, rebranded stuff. I mean, Vim at way above what it should cost, or Astro stuff, they're usually not overpriced, so they must get good pricing from them, but Vim is usually overpriced, and a lot of their stuff is literally, just rebranded Lisle and stuff. Matt, I had to kick a customer out of the shop. Use scan tool, open truck up, and 5 mouse were running out in the back. I said, take home. Oh, God. I think I dealt with a lot of dead animals. Only had a couple times with live ones. But yeah, that's messed up, man. I see. Ew. Joel, I got a new Icon toolbox. I really like the box. Have you had any Icon tool experience? Their hand tools, I believe, are made by Cobra, which makes Matco's wrenches, which makes all the ratcheting flex head ratchets or wrenches, like the Easy Reds or Mountain, etc. All good quality. Their toolbox seem to be decently made. I've recommended their regular Harbor Freight stuff for years for technicians starting out. The Icon stuff looks like a step up. I put it at the equivalent of like a starter box from the tool companies. The basic 76 line for Snap-on. It's about that equivalent gauge of metal, depth and width and that kind of stuff. I think it's taller than Snap-on's 76 line, but it's decent. In this economy especially, kind of hard to justify a $20,000-$30,000 toolbox, whereas Icon's considerably less and decent quality. Now, the biggest advantage of the tool truck brands is, especially companies like Matco, Mac, and Snap-on, because they all make their own toolboxes. So parts are generally not as hard to get. Whereas Icon, I don't know how readily available parts will be for their toolboxes going forward. Whereas, Master Series, you can get parts for it currently because it's still in production. You can get drawer slides, wheels, etc. So that's the only thing is long term, I don't know if you're going to be able to fix it, but decent quality. I just used their flyer to find tools on AliExpress. Tech Pro just did the research and what's good, and I buy for pennies on the dollar. They buy. Oh, AliExpress. Gotta love it. Let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh, what other questions we got? Aaron, how's the weather by your house? It's been pretty nasty by my house, and it's supposed to get a whole lot worse. So schools here are canceled for tomorrow. My wife got notification that the pediatric office my kids used to go to is not opening till noon. Oddly enough, I've got friends in Key West, and earlier today they said it wasn't bad. They said they were on, I think, the 4th floor, and they could feel the salt spray, but they went into town and it was nice in town. So I don't know. Really, Aaron? No. Can't imagine why you'd be open tomorrow no matter what. So I'm gonna tell a little story. I was years ago during Snowmageddon. I worked down the road from the old shop, my older shop, and $15 appointments tomorrow, huh? That's only 1.1 per guy. That doesn't sound really good. I hope everybody's got a bunch of work booked up, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of people standing around, Aaron. My son asked, "What's your favorite tool?" I can't answer what my favorite tool is, because I position it as categories, because I love all tools. Favorite scanner is currently my launch scanner. I've done videos on it. Love my picoscope. My long 1/4 inch Milwaukee high speed is my favorite ratcheting wrench. But yeah, naming one of my favorites is very, very hard. So I gave you 3. My lights just flickered, so just an FYI, because we do have a hurricane coming through here. Stream cuts off because I lost power or lost internet, one of the two. But what I was saying is in Um, Atlanta got slammed with a ice storm in the middle of the workday, and I left the shop that was right around the shop where the shop I used to work at is, and I left at 2:00. I got home at 3 a.m. Because crawling all the way home with all the wrecks, the ice, the jams, and all that. Fast forward, so me and my wife went through hell to get home that night. And fast forward, and, we had a very bad storm come through Atlanta. And my old boss was like, no, we got to get every car checked out so we can get parts ordered for tomorrow. And there's literally snow covering the ground. Atlanta does not deal with snow well. Despite how many Yankees are here, Atlanta does not know how to deal with snow. And it usually really screws up the city. And so he insisted we had to stay there until every car was diagnosed and we had parts ordered. And I was not happy about that. In fact, Bam Bam had to get a 4-wheel drive in case something like that happened again, which I don't care. My driveway goes like this. Literally, my driveway goes like this. If that hill's icy, 1, I ain't trying to back out of my driveway. 2, even if I happen to safely make it to the street without winding up across the street in the ditch, my subdivision goes like that. So I couldn't even get out of it. So yeah, it snows or ices. I ain't going anywhere. Matt, out here in South Dakota, when we have a huge blizzard, DOT will in no travel warning and give you a 3-hour window to get your butt home. Yeah, normally Atlanta just shuts down. But, the ice storm that shut the city down wasn't an ordinary storm. It started as it was cold out already. The ground was cold, and it went from rain very quickly to freezing rain. And then after a good bit of freezing rain, not snow, freezing rain, then we had snow, and it was just, and Atlanta at the time they still don't. They don't have salt trucks. They have sand trucks. They put out a sand salt mix and sometimes some chemicals. And it just does not do crap. And it doesn't melt the ice into snow. They usually do it too early. And it's always a messed up thing. And but yeah. My current shop, I have more tools than anyone here. The tool truck guy just walk in and find the boss because he will cover it. And when the boss asked the employee, do you need anything? They say, Enoch has it. Yeah, that's usually me. About 2 months ago, I mentioned here about my shop owner charging 55 hours to work on your own car. I quit shortly after and I'm at a much better shop closer to home. That's awesome. 2 months later, old shop owner sends me a Facebook friend request. As Galaxy Stranger says, funny how that works. Oh. Yeah, I've got some shop owners that absolutely hate me and despise me now that I'm still Facebook friends with. Never worked for them. They just watched me and then Facebook friended me, and now they absolutely despise me. Several of them have drank the shop coach's Kool-Aid, and they are all full ESO territory. I'm bored. Anyone need a software developer? Oh. I'm not creative to come up with software I would need. Kurt Dawson got a recommendation for a decent smoke machine that isn't terribly expensive. Let's see here. I mean, Amazon has some very inexpensive options. Don't know how good they are. I was trying to find Auto right there. That's the one I was looking for. Buy that one. Or buy from Auto. They have some really good tools. Not a sponsor. I've never owned one, but Super Mario has them and he uses them, so that should be a pretty good option. It's only $125, so pretty good price. The Ansel was about the same, so Autoline Pro machine looks really cool, but I heard it's iffy. Man, I would love to get into welding. I can stick and MIG weld. I've never had access to a TIG machine to even try TIG welding. That's usually the hardest. Weldingtipsandtricks.com. Welding Tips and Tricks. He's here in Atlanta too. He does some really good videos on welding. And buy a machine and practice. Buy some metal. Good luck, Kurt. Joel, have you tried Topton scanners? Yes, I own a Topton scanner. I was sent to me by Topton. It's a launch-based scan tool. Works very well. Same software as Launch, just Topton rebranded, and they use their own tablets. Not their own tablets, but they, Launch doesn't supply the tablets. They buy them from whoever they get them from. They're not branded. So I know Launch uses Lenovo tablets. I don't know who Topton, when you first turn it on, does not give you any sort of logo. And I haven't gone looking to find out. Kurt Dawson, TIG is tough when you're not doing it every day. I would assume that. It very much looks like a, it takes a lot of practice. Even when I have, because I haven't MIG welded in a long time. Last time I MIG welded was at the old shop, and I was just playing because I hadn't MIG welded in a long time from that point, and then I was able to get out some broken studs out of a LS engine with that welder. But you know, Aaron, have a good one. Good luck tomorrow. Hopefully you'll stay busy. Doesn't sound like it, but hopefully. Yeah, I would bet, Kurt, that TIG welding seems really, really fun. That's why I've wanted to do it. You know, because it just seems like such a cool skill, you know, getting that stack of dimes. But I've never really had a good use to do TIG welding. And, you know, it's just always been like, yeah, it'd be cool to have, but what am I going to use it for, really? I mean, I like tools, but it's hard to spend, you know, $2,000 on a TIG welder just for a play toy, you know. Galaxy, yeah, I want to make a stand for my vise so I can bolt it to the garage. Yeah, no, I mean, I've made tools, welded stuff back together because they were broken. It's always I like you know, welding. It's fun. Can you recommend a quality pipe nipple extractor set? Looking for internal or external? External, the Lisle set is really good. Internal, go ahead and switch over. Okay, so for internal, this is the style I prefer. Generally, it works best. It doesn't, you know, like the spiral extractors don't work that well. But not that brand. I recommend Hansen. Irwin Hansen. You can get the same kind of sockets. They're just not coming up right here, but those are okay. You know, there's these kind of sets, but not those. Get the Irwin Hansen. They tend to be better. But they're, you know, it's like, yeah, there's the Irwin set for extractors. They have a very small taper, so they tend to grab really well without hogging out the hole. And then they probably have the external ones here as well. Those are the deep wells as well. So that's what I would recommend in most cases. Oh. Kurt Dawson, I was lucky enough to learn at a previous shop since we did a lot of fabrication as well as repair. I'm self-taught on welding. And then I found welding tips and tricks, and that took me to the next level. But I was always structurally very good welding, but technique was lacking for pretty. I I never had, I'm not saying I had to use a grinder to make a good weld. I mean, it was strong. It just wasn't the stack of dimes kind of thing. And watching his videos got me to be able to make a good structural weld with attractive, and it helped me learn some other fundamentals of welding that I really didn't know, like fillet welds, etc. But yeah, no, I love welding. It's fun. Eric Souza, how can I find a good shop? I just see copy and paste ads, 80 to 140K a year range. Nothing that stands out. If all you're seeing is copy pasta ads, look different places. Go to LinkedIn, go to Indeed, go to every job site you can think of. Search automotive tech jobs. There's specific sites that are only for automotive tech jobs, and I can't remember their names. But if you're seeing the same ads over and over again, look at different sources. But unfortunately, that is a huge problem with shop owners, is they literally do copy and paste. I mean, I've literally seen a copy and paste for an independent shop from a Firestone. And I know it was from the Firestone because other than the Firestone Bridgestone thing at the bottom of it, it was literally copied and pasted. But yeah. But yeah, no, I look at different sources if you're having trouble finding. JWC Tech, yeah, old USA Irwin for extractors are good options. James Jones, a vacation was awesome. First part of the stream was about the vacation. Brought home a lot of good whiskeys, saw a lot of really cool stuff. Went to my wife and daughter kissed the Blarney Stone. I did not. That castle is really cool. It's unrestored, and the climb up to the Blarney Stone is, if you have claustrophobia or anything like that, probably not for you. Very tight spiral staircase, and the doorway to come out of it at the top is my daughter sized, so a good bit shorter than me. But yeah, it was a great trip. JVC Icon makes a style of that set, although some people complain about the smaller one snapping. No opinion, but lifetime warranty. Yeah, I have no experience with them. Joel, should I install a Texas speed cam in my 2000 Corvette with an LS2? I don't know. I'm very out of it when it comes to speed parts. I really don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. I don't have the time or the space to have a fun car. My driveway kind of sucks. So we're literally at our limit for the amount of cars that we have, just because of our driveway. Kurt, sometimes it helps to find a shop you're interested in, reach out, even if they're not currently looking. It's a good point. Talk to your tool dealers as well. Usually they'll know about jobs that are not really out there as well, and they'll know if the shop's good or not based on the dealings with the techs. Just put some Galaxy gas like the cool kids do. Should you? What kind of question is that? You've used all online, so it just says boots on the ground, and don't be afraid to downgrade to get your foot in the door. Understandable, but yeah, tool dealers are also a good source because they may find out about jobs before they're even posted. Joel, what cars do I own? I personally only own a 2020 GMC Sierra. My wife drives a Chevy Equinox 2017. My son drives a Hyundai Sonata that my mother-in-law bought new, and my daughter drives a Hyundai Kona. Enoch, any opinion on the gear wrench bolt biters? Just bought their master set that has a nut and bolt extractors. Wrench and I have no personal experience with them. Honestly, I was going to buy, when they came out, I was going to buy a set. And then Gear Wrench did a bunch of sponsored videos that I was not, part of. And, not giving them crap, but like 6 or so channels did videos on those tools. And it was like, okay, so I spend, because they didn't contact me or anything like that. And I was like, okay, I can spend the money on this set and I'm going to be a month behind everybody else putting out videos on it. And so I decided not to buy them because it literally, like, they came out and before, like I said, I'm not complaining. It is the game I live in with YouTube. But there was like 6 videos like posted all of a sudden, obviously because they, sent them the tools and, it was like not worth it to me. So I never have tried them. So I can't ask. James Jones, nice. Just finished the first day of ASTA Expo, whatever the new name is, because it's not ASTA anymore. Learned some great information already. Can't wait for the next 2 days. Awesome. Have a good show. JWC Tech bolt biter have been very good in my opinion. Eric says I don't have no tool dealers in my shop. Thank good though, no debt. Yeah, no, I mean that's a good and bad thing. JWC Tech, the insert style is more of a gimmick tool, but the socket style bolt biter and the nut setter have been very good for the price. Awesome. Yeah, like I said, I looked at them. I was about ready to order them. I was like literally checking various sites. And a bunch of things posted about them, and I'm like, okay, never mind. How to Automotive, how are you doing, man? Are you out of the hospital or are you still in the hospital? I haven't seen a post from you saying you were out of the hospital. So how are you doing, Brian? If you don't know, Brian recently had some health issues, and How to Automotive, Brian. But yeah, he posted pictures of him in the hospital bed. So yeah, how are you doing, dude? I don't know if it'll come up. Oh, but there's Brian in the hospital playing Uno. So yeah, hopefully you're better. I didn't. Okay, he is home. So in case you're worried, he is actually back home according to his Facebook. So yeah, no. I'm first live stream back from first live stream back from vacation. Last week I was still jet lagged. So 5 hour time change really screws with you. JWC Tech, any new tools you are looking forward to? Not that I've seen. Which reminds me, I think it was, yes. This tool is kind of cool. This Astro stubby air slide hammer kit. That's tempting to say the least. That's something that might be, in the future for me. So that might be something that comes home with me at some point. Joel asked, if I had to do it all over again, would you stay a technician? If not, what would be your career choice? The thing about it is yes, I would still be an automotive technician. There's a lot of stuff I enjoy about this industry. There's stuff that I absolutely hate about this industry, but they're also not unique to this industry. I enjoy fixing cars. I enjoy playing with tools. Enjoy buying tools. But the fact of the matter is I enjoy fixing cars. So when it comes down to it, yes, I would still do it. Other careers, I don't know. Honestly, I've maybe something in, IT stuff, maybe, I've got a home lab here and I play around with computers and stuff like that. But I don't know. Probably, the answer would probably, yeah, I would still be a technician. JBC Tech, yeah, I'm definitely wanting to see more info on that. See some rest belt results with first, yeah. Yes, Mr. Subaru's getting crap for his rusty hub removal. Eric, note, what brake bleeder do you prefer, pressure or vacuum? Pressure, 100% all the way. Pressure bleeding is now required for a lot of vehicles. Like it is required to get the ABS module bled out. So definitely definitely go pressure. Kurt Dawson, one last recommendation. I'm looking for brake piston depressor. I was looking into pneumatic. Went from working on BMWs to all brand and need some things I've never needed before. I had my eyes on the Mueller Cups. Mueller Cups is a quality brand. I worked with them in the past. Everything they get is top notch. But on that side of it, the fact of the matter is chances are they're all made at the same plant. I have, see if I can find it. Mine is JTC, but I've compared it with up to and including the original design, which they no longer make. So chances are any of these brands you buy is going to be about the same quality. They just have different cases, but they're probably made same or similar plant. You know, so buy a more expensive model from, Mueller Cups if you want to, but I'd probably just get one of these kits. But yes, I absolutely love my pneumatic turn back tool. It just is awesome. Yeah, like I said, they're probably all the same. JWC Tech, any thoughts on Sunex moving production to China from Taiwan? Get the Pittsburgh one. I've had it for years. Harbor Freight. Like I said, it's probably still made at the same plant. That is concerning. JWC Tech. The thing about China is, they can manufacture stuff to amazing quality, very extremely tight tolerances, as long as you're willing to pay for it. So I don't know whether it's cost cutting or problems in Taiwan, because there's a bunch of different problems in Taiwan, but but yeah, I mean, I'd be a little worried about recommending Sunex if they're moving production to China until they've gotten out and gotten all their machining bugs worked out, etc. Enoch, he said he's having to buy it for all makes and models because he works at a shop that works on all makes and models. So, so now he doesn't need the BMW one. He needs the that's not good. Yeah, Kurt, I don't either because they're all. I don't know why BMW would have such a tool either. Yeah, Eric, no problem. Yeah, it's it's in service information. If you replace a ABS module, it's required. Jeep for sure, because I've had to go. Those things suck to bleed out. Let me tell you, they suck to bleed out, and you have to have a pressure bleeder. Fit rate's okay. All right, what other questions we got? All right. Joel, I work at a dealership. People complain all the time about noises and sometimes problems that cannot be duplicated. Due to being under warranty, do you get these types of complaints? Noise complaints are the absolute worst. Just because, honestly, I thought I found the noise they were complaining about and found out it was a completely different noise. Or the circumstances of when the noise happened was weird as hell. Had one customer that the only time the vehicle made the noise was when he was speeding through his parking garage at his condo. And according to the service writer, he was hauling butt going over speed bumps all the way up, and that was where he would hear the noise. And, replicate that. I did eventually find the problem, but God, that was a nightmare. But yeah, noises are the worst. I have some hearing damage, and my, certain noises I can't hear. Just can't. The noises I just, like I've had technicians go, "Do you hear that noise?" Nope. So that kind of stuff old sucks. How to Automotive. I just got home yesterday after having an operation on my carotid arteries. If you don't know, he also had cancer in the past. So, Brian, hope everything goes well. Take it easy. Listen to the doctors. Don't push it. Do exactly what they say to do. Awesome that the surgery was a success. But yeah, listen to your doctors on exactly how to recover. Because, you don't want to hurt yourself in a different way. Matt, where I live on gravel roads, noise complaints are hard to find, which is nice. Yeah. Try finding noise complaints in Atlanta traffic where, when you finally hear the noise, some idiots, honking or, some idiots revving their engine or whatever. It just sucks. I absolutely hate noise complaints. It just, it's one thing when it's an obvious noise, but subtle noises are just so hard to nail down. You got a little, noise that you can barely hear. Try figuring out where that sucker is. Kurt Dawson, what pressure bleeder everyone uses? My 10-year-old motive bleeder is still going strong. BG. BG. But yeah. All right. Glad to hear you're doing good after the surgery, Brian. What other questions we got? ISO, what's up? Yeah, you pretty much missed everything. I'm about to get out of here. Lou Wrenches says, Brian, talked about my wife getting stuck in a ditch in Scotland after driving the rental car there for 90 seconds. Got some time off, but I'm not having any fun. Yeah, time off after surgery is never fun. I will be at SEMA next month, fingers crossed. Well, hopefully enjoy, take it easy. Enoch, what do you think about dealerships providing toolboxes, make it fun for the next guy to move his tools into? It makes a very, very uniform look. The biggest problem I see with it is a lot of guys go to work for a dealership, sell their toolbox, and then when it's time to move out of that dealership because they're going to somewhere else, whether it's a dealership without toolboxes or independent shop, they suddenly don't have a toolbox. JWC Tech, did you get your updated anvils for your Insider ratchet? No. They sent me a battery for some reason, but they didn't send me the updated anvils, so I haven't had a chance to check that out. I got to go back, and I mean, it was gone for almost a month, so I missed a lot of emails. Famous Slick Rick, what's up? ISO, do you think when it comes to suspension kits like pullers and presses, Snap-on is the best, or is OTC and Lisle and other brands equally good? Yes. The ball joint press from Snap-on is the GOAT. The OTC equivalent with the captive adapters like Snap-on is also really good. Other pullers, I'd probably go to Mueller-Kips for. Lou wrenches, thinking of starting my channel. Any tips or advice? I'm a tech, love tools. Okay. Advice, start it. Just simple as that, start it. Understand that your first videos or your first 100 videos are going to suck. They're not going to get views, unless you happen to pop off with some great thumbnail. Get comfortable behind the camera, or in front of the camera, I should say. Understand how to edit. Dead audio or audio is incredibly important. People will watch bad video quality if the audio is good. If the audio is bad, most people will leave your video. Period. End of story. Was one of the hardest things I had to learn. Get yourself, when it comes to editing, headphones, or if you're editing on your phone, Bluetooth headphones, because you can hear exactly what your viewer is going to hear. But that's the most important thing, is audio. As far as the content is, video quality can be but if your audio sucks, people are going to click off. Kurt Dawson says, start with a toolbox tour. People love them. Got 110,000 views on mine. Yeah, no, it's not hard. But biggest thing is get comfortable on the camera. Do it. Just do it. But make sure your audio is good, etc. Try not to have a lot of dead space. You're watching me live, so it's realistic, but I tend, a lot of my early videos were less edited, and I don't even realize I do it, but I tend to speak like William Shatner. If you don't know, Star Wars or Star Trek, he's the original captain. I tend to pause when I speak, and it's just how I speak, and I had to consciously get out of that and edit it out because that's how I speak. It's just how my brain works. It annoys people. So understand when people give you criticism that it may not, some people just are assholes. Let's be honest. Other people will give you good feedback. So that was one of the feedbacks that I got that was actually good. Some of them were kind of nasty, but it was, this guy thinks he's William Shatner and, but that's how I talk in real life. But I had to learn not to do that on video. JWC, JWC Techs, check out 2 turtles and a wrench for video ideas, rolling B-rolls, extra camera angles give you an edge, lighting background, good video, good editing will move things more quickly. Fake it till you make it. Eric, how you doing, Eric? Yeah, coming from a guy who's, made it. Yeah, see, every time I've done kind of that kind of stuff, I've always gotten crap for it. Add in B-roll, screw that shit. Get people complaining about it. It is what it is, but so what? In case you don't know, Eric, I'm about to get hit by a hurricane. So what else up? I assume that question's for Eric. Do you have any recommendations for air hammer bit lifetime warranty as Snap-on? Matco has a lifetime warranty as well. I've been told Mayhew as well, but I'm not sure on that. No, they are 2 years. So, yeah, pretty much the only option, as far as I know, gray pneumatic bits, lifetime warranty is going to be the tool trucks. I don't think anybody else is lifetime warranty. I don't even think Astro is lifetime. Yeah, Mayhew, I just looked up, has a 2-year warranty. JWC Tech, the B-roll helps with younger viewers, but your channel is established, so you don't need it. Every time I've tried to add it, I've gotten people bitching about it. I like my Matco, which are lifetime warranty. They're buy once, cry once. As long as you got a Matco dealer, you get new ones. Kurt, I would 100% agree. And Eric has he's got the good relationship with Astro, so they send him stuff. Yeah, he definitely would put it to the real test. So yeah, he should definitely get him one of those. And oh, hey. So you have one. Have you used it, and does it actually work? Because I don't have one, and it looks cool, and I don't deal with the kind of rust you have, so I could never put it to that kind of test anyway. Yeah. Like I said, you know. Oh, that sucks. I mean, that's probably one of the coolest things I've seen, and it sucks that it doesn't. Oh man, I'm disappointed. Spoiler alert, damn it. Because that looked really cool, you know. Um, so yeah, that kind of sucks. Maybe it'll be good for pilot berries. Oh, yeah, that sucks. Because I was earlier talking about that was something I was excited about. Because that does look, you know, really. It has a purpose, just not for what I do. Yeah, you know. Hey, good idea at least. You know, maybe you just got to wait for version 2. You know. Yeah, no, I mean it's yeah, I appreciate you, you know, being honest that it didn't work for you. I mean, you know, it probably worked for me here in Georgia, but I don't deal with that kind of rust. So, all right. Eric, have a good night. Take it easy. I'm probably going to get out of here as well. Yeah, I've been online for 2 hours, so I think it's about time to pack it in and hopefully, David, tomorrow's Friday's video. Um, Later, Eric. Have a good one. Appreciate you stopping by. Oh, JWC Tech. Joel, have you tried CV axle slide hammer attachments? Yes, they work when they fit. That's the biggest problem is getting them to fit. But yeah, the Gen 2 video goes up tomorrow. It'll be up at 6 a.m. Appreciate Babalu. I'm gonna head out. I've pry bars are my straight Mac pry bar has been the best for popping CV axles loose because it's straight and fairly deep. It 9 times out of 10 when the circlip won't release, it's because it's kind of wedged. And the problem when you're trying to pry out a CV axle is when you're wedging against it, you're going the other way, but you kind of wedge the C clip in the other direction. But yeah, that's the best one I've found is just using a straight pry bar. Nicholas, sorry, I just started a mobile mechanic business. What's your opinion? I've been busy for the last 3 weeks. Awesome. At $140 labor rate. Hey, if you're keeping busy and you're making good money, cool. JBC says, hit that like button. I appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and head out. So I appreciate everybody stopping by. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.